Okay, so good afternoon. So we discussed about we are discussing actually the nonlinear ODE, first order nonlinear ODE mostly we are discussing now. So once again, we are switching back to the characteristic ODE. Okay, how do we solve that problem using the characteristic ODE? So that's what we are discussing right now. So we discussed about defining the problem like we got to choose our xi. X data base we got to choose, and p data base we got, based on this one it is going to solve this one, and we are going to get z data base is going to come. So that's what we got discussed in the last class. Okay, so this is the problem we discussed. So up to this theorem we got discussed, I hope. This is so slow. This one we discussed. Yeah. So this is the theorem also we explained. So 2n plus 1 equation is going to come. So this is the one we obtained. So p data base, z data base, and x data base. Okay. So here you are going to get a n plus 1 equation. Here you are going to get n plus 1 equation, and here you are going to get only one equation. So totally you are going to get 2n plus 1 equation is going to come. Okay. So that one you got to solve it, and then you got to obtain the solution. That's what we discussed in the last class. And then if x data base is chosen, if we assume that the x data base is going to x is chosen in such a way that this x data base characteristic ODE is solved, okay, then automatically that is going to solve the p data base and z data base. Okay, that's what we have discussed in the last class. Now we'll see some of the things. Suppose, okay, suppose it is a linear. Okay, the characteristic ODE, suppose this f is linear. Okay, this function f is a linear function. Then what you are going to have, you can write this equation in this format, f of du comma u comma x. You can write it in this way: p of x into d of x, sorry, du of x plus some c of x into u of x is going to come. This is the general way you can write the linear PD. Okay, any linear PD you can write it in this format. So therefore, what you are going to have, you are going to get the correspondingly the f of z comma p comma x notation. Okay, I'm just going to write as p comma z comma x. So that is going to become like, it is going to become like p of x into p plus c of x into z. Okay, this is going to be there. So now, therefore, here what is TPF? Okay, I got differential with respect to p, because for this one, if you remember this one, so I'll just write this equation once, so that we can just understand. So what I have is that I have p data base is going to be minus dx f minus dz f into p. Okay, into p is going to be there. And z data base tpf dot p is going to be there. And x data base, you're going to have dp f is going to come. So therefore here I got to calculate what is my dx, what is my tp, and what is my dz. That's what I got to calculate. So let us see that for this problem, linear PDE, okay, the general setup. So in that case, TPF is going to become like B. Okay. So therefore, Z data base, I'm just going to calculate. Z data base is going to become like, you are going to get TPF is, which is nothing but P. So P of x of s dot P of s. Okay, this is going to be there. So that one, so since this is equal to 0, okay, this is equal to 0. So in that case, you can write px dot p is going to become like c of x into z is going to, that is going to become like minus c of x into c of x of s into z of s is going to come. Okay. Similarly, what is for x dot of s? X dot of s is going to become like tpf is going to become like p of x of s. Okay. Here p dot is not required because we are going to solve only for x and z, so you will get that answer soon. Okay. Here p dot is not required. Okay. You can, because already it is eliminated, right? Why we require p here is that because the p is going to be involved over there, that is the reason we going to solve that. But if you combine these two equations, you are already having z of s in terms of x is there, x of s in terms of z is there. So therefore, you don't require to solve for p because there is no, if you just consider these two equations, there is no p involved over here. Therefore, p dot is not required here using these two equations itself, because our ultimate aim is that you have to calculate what is the z of s. Okay, Z of S only we got to calculate. That is the solution is going to be there. So from these two equations itself, we can calculate what is Z of S. So therefore, in this case, P dot is not required. You don't need to calculate the P dot as equation. You don't require to calculate. So next one, we are going to go for the semi-linear, I think. Okay, so let us go for the semi-linear. So in that case, what you are okay, there is an example also. Let us solve that problem. So in this case, I'm just having an equation called ux1, x1 ux1, sorry, x1 ux2. Okay, or I can just write x1 uy minus y ux. Both are same. Okay, equal to u is there in omega, and I have u equal to g in on gamma. Where omega is given as follows. So omega is nothing but x greater than 0, y greater than 0. And gamma is given as x greater than 0, y equal to 0. Okay, this is the one thing. So this PDE is linear PDE because it is just linear coefficients are that. That's a linear PDE. So here we got to identify what is our P of x because I got to write the equation in this format. Okay, so that for this one I can write it as P of x. I can write it as minus y comma x into dot ux uy. I can write it. This equation. Okay, minus ui comma x ux uy. Then you can get this one. So minus y into ux is going to come plus x into ui is going to come. That is going to be here. And here c is going to be okay. So therefore your p is going to be small b. This b. Okay, b is going to be minus y comma x is going to be. And what is c? So c of x is nothing but here u is there. So this one I can write as minus u equal to 0. So that means that c is going to be minus 1 here. Okay, minus 1 is going to be there. So therefore c is going to be minus 1 for this equation. Therefore, what is your z dot of s? The equation is going to become like we are going to get z dot of s. So for this problem, z dot of s is going to be minus c of x into z of s. So c is already minus 1. Therefore, it is going to be just 1. And you are going to get just z of s. Similarly, we have to calculate your x dot of s. You have to calculate. Okay, x dot of s is p of x comma s. So therefore, this is going to become like we are going to get x dot of s comma y dot of s. This is a vector. This is a component of it. Okay, so that is going to be x dot of s y dot of s, which is going to be p of x of s. So that is going to become like y minus y x. So therefore, you are going to get x dot equal to y is going to come, y dot equal to x is going to come. Okay, so that's what I have written there. I have written minus y here. X dot equal to minus y and y dot equal to x is going. Okay, so that's what I have written there. In terms of x1 and x2, I have written, but here I have written in terms of x. Now these two equations you can solve. Okay, so this equation you can solve. Z dot of s you can solve it. So you are going to get, and x dot of y dot of x also you can solve it, and then you can obtain the values. So if we solve this problem, so if we solve this z dot of s equal to z of s, okay, this is a simple thing. So if we are solving this one, if you solve this z dot of s equal to z of s, okay, you are going to get dz by z equal to 1 is going to come. So you are going to get if you simplify this one, you are going to get log s equal to s is going to come. So this is going to become like log z equal to s is going to come plus some constant is going to come. Okay, some constant is going to come. So I can simply put this is going to be c e power s is going to come. Okay, I can put some c e power s, and I have a boundary condition u equal to g is going to be done. So this is nothing but u. Okay, u equal to z equal to c e power s. So u equal to g is given. Okay, so therefore, if I put that boundary condition, what you are going to get that you are going to get u equal to z equal to g of x naught into e power s squared and the boundary. Now this one, for this problem, okay, you have a system. What you have is that you have dx by ds equal to minus y is there, and dy by ds equal to x is there. Okay, so these two equations if you solve, okay, because dx by dy equal to minus y is there, dy by ds equal to x is there. So these two equations if you solve, then you are going to get this one. This is a system of ODE. Okay, so this problem if you solve, what you are going to get is that you are going to get x equal to some x naught into cos s and y equal to y naught into sin s is going on. Okay, this problem you got to solve it using the ODE technique, system of ODE technique, and then you got to solve that. Then you are going to get x equal to x naught cos s, y equal to y naught sin s is going on. So here I got chosen x naught greater than or equal to 0, which is from the problem over there. Okay, so what you are going to do is, suppose you fix a point x comma y. Okay, let us fix a point x comma y in omega. Now we got to find the connecting things, right? So that we got to do it. So suppose s is greater than 0 and x naught is greater than 0, such that, okay, what you have is that you have identify your x and y such that x equal, you have find some, yes, you got to identify, suppose if you take, so this is my domain, okay, so this is my domain, so x greater than 0, my domain is this one, so this is x equal to, this is y equal to, so x greater than 0, y equal to y greater than 0 means this is my domain. So in this domain, suppose I choose a point x comma y. When correspondingly what you got to find is that you got to find a s such that you are going to get x equal to x naught into cos s, okay, x equal to x naught into cos s, y equal to y naught into sin s, sorry, again x naught into sin s, okay, some fixed point you are going to get. So this one what you are going to get is that you are going to get x naught, you are going to get it in this way. Now from this one what you can imply is that this is going to imply that x naught is going to be square root of this x naught you got to calculate and s you got to obtain in such a way that this is going to be obtained. So how to get this one? So that is what you got to get is that x naught equal to, you are going to get x square plus y square. Okay, and s is going to become like, you can choose this way. Suppose you put this one, you can calculate what is that one. So you can calculate the reverse calculation, you can do tan inverse of y by x. You can do the reverse calculation. Okay, what you got to do is that you got to find your s and x naught. So x naught can be calculated this way, y s can be calculated this way, so that it will be done. Okay, you got to choose your s and x naught greater than 0 such that this is going to be satisfied. Then this problem is that you can write it this way. So this can be written as g of, it was given as g of x naught into e power s was given, that I can write as g of square root of x square plus y square into e power tan inverse of y by x. Okay, that is going to be my u. This is going to be my u. This is going to be the solution for this problem. Okay, this is the solution for this problem. Any questions? The simple way, okay, so you got to solve this problem and then you can calculate this x and x naught, etc. Now let us go for the quasi-linear PDE. Okay, same kind of thing. For quasi-linear PDE, what you are going to do? So in this problem also you don't require the P naught. Okay, so the problem is quasi-linear PDE. Once again, you can write it in this way. So this one you can write as, this is a quasi-linear. Okay, quasi-linear PDE you are going to write as P of x, comma, u of x is also, b is going to be a function of, sorry, in case of linear PDE, this b is a function of x only. In case of quasi-linear PDE, it is going to be a function of x and u. Okay, u of x is also there. Okay, into d of x. And c is also going to be c of x. This is also going to become like c of x comma ux. This is the first order quasi-linear PDE. Okay, this is going to be. So therefore, correspondingly here you are going to get p of x comma p is going to come. P of x comma z is going to come into p. Okay, plus c of, this is going to become like c of x comma z. This is the general quasi-linear PDE. So once again, you got to apply what is your TPF here. So TPF is going to become like p of x comma z is going to come. Okay, so therefore that characteristic ODE system, it is going to become like z dot equal to z dot of s is going to become like p of x of s comma z of s into p of s. Okay, so this is equal to 0. Therefore, this is going to become like this is equal to 0. Yeah, so this is going to become like c of minus c of x of s comma z of s. And again x dot of s, which is nothing but just a TP of s. So that is going to become like once again p of x of s comma z of s. Okay. Once again, because these two equations we consider, we don't require any p to be involved, so that we can solve these two equations. I hope I have a problem. Let me see. Yeah, I have one problem. So now let us take this problem. Ux plus uy equal to u square. Okay, this is in omega, and u equal to g on gamma, where omega is simply given as x2 greater than 0. Okay, so x2 greater than 0 means it is going to be completely this one. Okay, x2 is greater than 0, so there is no below. And x2 equal to 0 is going to be the gamma. So this PD is a cos linear PDE. So what is B here? B is going to be 1, 1 simply. Okay, and C is going to be minus z square. C is minus z square. So therefore, your z dot is going to become like z square minus z square. No, minus into minus plus is going to come, so z square. Okay, z dot is going to be z square, and x dot is going to be 1. Y dot is also going to be 1. Okay, because x dot of s is going to be p of x of s comma z of s. This is going to be 1, 1. So x dot is also 1, y dot is also 1. Okay, that's what I got written here. X dot of x1 dot and x2 dot. That's all. So therefore, what is the solution for this problem that we got to find? So that you are going to have z of s, you got to solve this one. So dz by z square equal to 1. Okay, and you have here x dot equal to 1. So x dot equal to 1 means dx by ds equal to 1. So you are going to get x equal to, this is simple one. So you are going to get x equal to s plus some constant is going to come. Similarly, dy by ds equal to 1. So you are going to get y equal to some s plus c is going to come. Okay, you got to calculate what is this c, etc. So I am just going to choose my this c is going to be different. So I am going to choose my yes in such a way that I am going to take this as simply yes, okay, because I am just going to involve only two constants. So y equal to s I am going to take, and here I am going to take some x naught is going to be s plus x naught. Okay, and once I solve this problem, you are going to get z is going to become x. So if you solve this one, you are going to get z power minus 1 by 1 is going to come. So you are going to get z is going to become like, you are going to get something like z naught divided by 1 minus s into z naught is going to come once you solve this problem. Or I use put z naught down. Okay, so this z naught, once again you got to estimate that from the boundary condition you got to substitute. So that is going to become like g of x naught divided by 1 minus s into g of x naught. So here once again you got to choose your for given x comma y, okay, in the domain. Suppose x comma y is given. What you got to choose is that you got to choose your s greater than 0, okay, and x naught greater than 0 for this problem, such that, okay, what you are going to take is that you are going to get x comma y equal to x plus s, x naught plus s comma s is going to be there. So therefore, if we solve for this one, what you are going to get is that if you rewrite this one, this is going to make x equal to x naught plus s, y equal to s. So from this one, you are going to imply x naught equal to you can write as x minus y, you can write, because y equal to s, I can substitute here. So s equal to y is going to be this, y is going to become, so x naught is going to become like x minus y is going to become, okay, and s is going to be simply y. So therefore, this equation, it is going to become like g of x naught is nothing but x minus y. So you are going to get x minus y here divided by y 1 minus s into g of x naught. So 1 minus s is nothing but y. So 1 minus y into g of x minus y. So one thing you can remember that. So if you remember that, if you solve this problem, ux plus uy equal to 0. You remember this one? In the very beginning we have discussed. So for this problem, you are always going to get the solution of this problem, of x minus y format. You can see that same thing is happening here also. Okay, almost same kind of things are happening here also. Okay, even if it is a non-linear, similar kind of things are going to come. But of course, extra thing is going to come. So you are going to get this one. So you can verify this is going to be my u. Okay, this is going to be my u. You can verify this u is going to be, this u is satisfying this one or not. Okay, and this boundary condition also, whether it is satisfying or not, you can check it. Okay, so the boundary condition is that you have the boundary condition x equal to 0, y equal to 0. Y equal to 0 is the boundary condition. Therefore, you can check that if I put y equal to 0, this is going to be 0. Okay, and this is going to be 1. So g of y is 0, so g of x is going to be 1. So that is satisfied. Now similarly, you can calculate what is Vx and Uy, and then you can check whether it is satisfied. Now next one. One more. One sec. Quasi-linear is there. Okay. So for fully nonlinear PDE, let me see whether I have next slide explaining out of time. Okay. For fully nonlinear, what you are going to do is that you are going to do completing. Okay, so you have to obtain the complete equations, because in this case, all the 3 characteristic ODEs are required. Okay, let us see this problem. So the next problem is that you have the PDE ux uy equal to u. This is a nonlinear PDE. Okay, and I have the boundary condition u equal to y square. This is in omega and this is on common. So again, this problem same domain with this domain. X is greater than no, here it is different, not this one. So we have this one. Okay, x is greater than 0. So this side is not. X1 is greater than 0. So x is greater than 0 is the domain. Okay, this is my domain. So for this problem, what you got to obtain is that you got to obtain the complete thing. Okay, so first you got to obtain p dot of s also you got to obtain, x dot of s also you got to obtain, z dot of s also you got to obtain. Okay, what is p dot of s? Just to remember that. So this is my p dot of s. So that is minus dxf minus dzf into p is going to be there, and this is going to be, this we know already, tpf only. This is going to be tpf into p is going to be there. So let us calculate this one for this problem. So for this problem, so we got to identify what is my f here. So f is going to be written as f of p comma z comma x is going to be, this is going to be p. Okay, this is going to be q. P comma q I'm writing. Okay, p comma q minus u is going to be z. So pq minus z. So p is nothing but ux and q is nothing but u. Okay, so therefore you got to calculate here. Now you got to calculate p dot. Okay, p dot is going to be, sorry, first you got to calculate txf. dxf you got to calculate. Okay, dxf is going to be 0 because there is no extra involved here. dzf you got to calculate. dzf is going to be, z is going to be that is going to be minus 1. Okay, dzf is minus 1. Similarly, you got to calculate tpf. Okay, tpf is going to be, you are going to get tpf is going to be simply the tpf is going to be p, tqf is going to be q. Okay, because tq is also here. P1 p2 is going to be there. Okay, so therefore what you are going to get, you are going to obtain this one. So this is going to become like p dot of s is going to be minus dz f dot p is that, into p is that. So therefore this is going to become like, I can write dz f into p, and similarly q dot of s is going to be minus dz f p. Okay, f into p. Okay, this is into p, not p, not suffix p. This. So this is nothing but dz f is minus 1. Therefore it is going to be p. Okay, and this is going to be into here. It is going, sorry, here it is going to be q. Okay, dz minus dz f into q. Because the p is a vector, so p1 p2 is going to come. So you are going to get q here. So this is going to be q. So p dot equal to p is going to come, q dot equal to q is going to come. Now z dot of s, okay, z dot of s means you got to calculate. So z dot of s is going to become like, you are going to get tpf is going to be there. Sorry, tpf into p is going to be there. Therefore you are going to get tpf is p. Okay, this is going to become p comma q into p comma Sorry, there's a mistake here. So TPF is Q actually, okay, because with respect to P I got differentiate. TQF is P here. Okay, so therefore this is going to become like Q comma P actually. Q comma P, P comma Q. Okay, TPF, TQF. Okay, this is nothing but my TPF. Okay, so therefore this is going to become like 2 times PQ. P into Q, 2 times is going to come. So 2 times P into Q is going to come. Similarly, x dot of S, we got to calculate TPF. Okay, so therefore we are going to get x dot of S is going to become like TPF. So there are 2 terms here. X1 and X2 is going to be there. Here also F1 and TP and TQ is going to be there. So x dot of S is going to become like I'm going to get Q. Okay, so x dot of S is nothing but TPF, that is going to be Q, and y dot of S is going to be DQF, that is going to be P. Now, so you got to solve this problem. Okay, so P dot S equal to P, Q dot S equal to Q, Z dot of S equal to PQ, and X dot equal to Q, and Y dot equal to P. This problem you got to solve. So this problem, if I solve this one, this is going to imply that P is going to become like some P of S is going to become like you are going to get some log x2 is going to come. So I'm just going to write it this way: x naught by 2 e power s. I'm going to write it, and q is going to be written as x naught 2x naught into e power s. I'm going to write it. Okay, some constant you are going to get it. So that I'm just solving it together, and then we are going to get this one. Okay, we got to solve this together. Okay, all these things we got to solve it together, because here dp by ds equal to p is going to be there. Is equal to p is going to be there. Okay, so that means you are going to get dp by p equal to s is going to come. So this is going to imply p equal to some c into e power s is going to come. The c you got to estimate. Similarly, next one, if you solve, you are going to get q is equal to some, let us say c1. This is c2 e power s is going to come, because q dot also equal to q is going to be there. Now we have that z dot. Okay, z dot is given as follows. Z dot is nothing but 2pq is given. So that means this is going to become like c1 into c2 into e power s is going to come. E power 2s is going to come. Okay, so that means what you got to do. So this one you got to calculate in such a way that u equal to y square is satisfied. So for that purpose, I got multiplied here by 2 and divided by 2 here, so that if you get that y square is going to come here. Okay, that's the reason I got chosen by 2 and 2 there. Okay, so therefore what you are going to get here, you are going to get x naught by 2 and 2x naught by 2x naught into e power s is going to there. Then automatically the boundary condition also will be satisfied. Okay, so therefore from this one we are going to choose p equal to x naught by 2 e power s, q equal to 2x naught into e power s. Now similarly this one, from this one you are going to get z equal to x naught square e power 2s is going to come. Okay, e power 2s. We got to integrate this one. Okay, if you integrate this one, you are going to get one term is going to be this. Sorry, here 2 into is coming. 2 into c1 c2 t power 2s is going to come. So once you integrate, you are going to get 2 gets cancelled. That is the reason you are going to get x naught square is going to be there. Similarly, x dot of s equal to q is that. That means what? Tx by ds equal to what is q? Q is nothing but c2 into e power s. Okay, so therefore you got to integrate this one. Once again, you are going to get in terms of so I got chosen my q in such a way that is satisfied. So 2x naught into e power s is going to be there. So you got to integrate this one. Then you are going to get 2x naught into e power s. Some other constant is going to come. That once again from that equation you are going to get it like x is going to become like 2x naught into e power s minus 1. Similarly, y of s. So y dot dy by ds is going to become P is nothing but x naught by 2 e power s. So y of s is going to become like, once again what you are going to do is that you have to integrate this one. So here you are going to get x naught by 2 e power s. I'm going to put it as plus 1. So once again there will be constant here. That equals these two equations together I'm solving, and then I'm going to solve. So this is actually the system of ODE you got solved. So only not independently you cannot solve. Okay, independently you should not solve. Of course, independently you can get that, but some constant will come. So those constants you got to eliminate using this boundary condition, and all these things are satisfied. Accordingly, you got to eliminate. So now question is that how to get that for given x comma y, what is my x naught, what is my s. That I got to choose. Okay. So for given x comma y belongs to omega, I got to choose for x naught comma s such that okay it is going to satisfy x comma y equal to we're going to get 2 x naught into e power s minus 1. Okay, so I'm going to choose my x equal to this one and y equal to x naught by 2 e power s plus 1. So if I just multiply them together, okay, then what you are going to get? You are going to get x naught is going to come. Okay, so if I just calculate this one, so I can calculate my x naught here. So I can multiply this by 4. Okay, then this is going to become 2 times x naught is going to come. Okay, so therefore, if I subtract it, what I'm going to get is that I'm going to get, or if I add it, yeah, I can add that, okay, or I can subtract. So let us see what should be done. So 2 x naught into e power. So if I subtract, this is going to be vanishing. Okay, then you are going to get 4y minus x. If I do, then you are going to get simply 4 x naught is going to come. Okay, 4 x naught is going to come. Therefore, x naught is going to become like 1 by 4 into 4y minus x. So you can choose your x naught. Now similarly, you can choose your s. S is going to be obtained as follows. So we got obtained our s. So x for yes, what you can do is that you can simply subtract this once again. You can substitute this x naught over here. By one of the equations you can substitute, and then you can obtain that. So if I sum it up together, what I'm going to get is that I'm going to get 4y plus x is going to become like. So if I sum this together, you are going to get 4x naught into e power s is going to come. Okay. So therefore, e power s is going to become like 4y plus x divided by 4x naught is going to be 4x naught is going to be 4y minus x. Okay, so therefore e power s is going to become like 4y plus x divided by 4y minus x. Accordingly, you can choose that. I just calculated only e power s. So s is going to be, then you have to take the log of this one. So if you want to calculate x naught and s corresponding to given x comma y, x naught can be calculated this way, s can be calculated from this one. But in our problem, we require only for z we don't require that one. So what you can do is that I can simply put that value. So u is going to become like, or z is going to become like x naught square. So 1 by 16 4y minus x the whole square. Okay, into e power 2s. So this one I got to square it. 4y power x whole square divided by 4y minus x whole square. So these two are going to get cancelled. So you are going to get simply 4y plus x whole square divided by 16. So this is going to be your solution for this problem. You can verify whether u equal to ux you can calculate, uy you can calculate, verify whether it is going to be satisfied. Okay. So u equal to y square is going to be satisfied for sure, because the boundary condition is that x equal to 0. So if I put x equal to 0 here, it is going to be like 4y whole square is going to come. So 16y square by 16. So y square is going to come. So boundary it is clearly satisfied. You can verify whether ux plus uy is going to satisfy the first one. So with this, I will stop for the this equation. Now let us go to the next one. So any questions on this problems? How to solve? The characteristic ODE only again we are going to discuss. Okay. So what we have is that we have the problem nonlinear PD we have. Okay, first order nonlinear PD, of course. So what we have that equation is given and characteristic ODE also we have given. So P data base we have, x data base we have, and y data z data base we have. Okay. So z data base is going to become like TPF. Okay, so this is we have already seen in the Jacobi method how to solve that, but we are going to extend this idea for other things. So what we are trying to do is that we are going to connect the curve, etc. So TPF dot P, and this is going to be TPF, and this is going to be DA minus DXF minus DZ into P. Okay, that's what we have. So P database is going to be DXF minus DZ into P. And this is going to be TP, and this is going to be TPF into P is going to be. Now we are going to use with boundary conditions, which is called the straightening boundary. We are going to do with the boundary conditions, a little more examples. Of course, we discussed with the boundary condition only 2-3 problems we have solved, but some of the problems it is difficult to solve, so that we are going to discuss. Okay, how to solve those kind of problems. Let us see that. Okay, so in some cases, what we can do is that we can't solve it for the entire thing. So in this one, what we are going to do is that we are going to straighten the boundary. So what is the main goal of the straightening the boundary is that, so suppose these 3 ODEs are there. Okay, let us use this characteristic ODE. Okay, what we are going to do is that we are going to solve the boundary value problem. Let us solve the boundary value problem for at least in small region. Okay, I'm going to solve it in a small region. Okay, near an appropriate person. For example, so I have a domain omega here. Okay, and this is my dou omega. Gamma is the boundary of this one. Gamma is the boundary of this problem. Okay, in that one, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to solve the boundary value problem in a small region. Okay, so suppose I take a x naught here. Okay, so in this small region, what is the answer is going to come? So that's what I'm going to solve it in this straightening the boundary. Because the idea here is that, so this is a curved boundary. So far, the problem which we have solved in the last 3 examples was, I simply taken, so this domain I have taken. Okay, I have taken this domain. Here x equal to y equal to 0 was that. Okay, y equal to 0 was the boundary. Similarly, the other one I have taken where x equal to 0 was the boundary. Okay, so the x equal to 0, so here x equal to 0 is the boundary. In other cases, y equal to 0 is the boundary. Okay, so this problem x equal to 0 is the boundary, which is a straight line. Similarly, other problem I have taken this one. So there y equal to 0 is the boundary, because that is once again what you are going to have. So you are going to have so here here y equal to 0 is the boundary. Okay, here x equal to 0 is the boundary. Only this one. Okay, only x equal to 0 is going to be there. So therefore, what you are going to have is that here it is a straight line. Y equal to 0 is a straight line, x equal to 0 is another straight line. So those kind of problem you can solve it as we have discussed. Similarly, if it is a straight line also, you can obtain that, because you can see this curve and then you can obtain that. Now suppose you have a curved boundary. In that case, how do we solve it? Okay, that is the important problem now. So in that case, what we are going to do is that I'm just going to take a small region over here. Okay, so if I take a very epsilon distance radius, what you are going to get is that you are going to get, although it is a curved one, the curved nature is going to be very, very small. Okay, that the change is going to be very, very small. So in that case, what you are going to get is that this is going to become like a straight line only. Okay, because if you just make a very zooming thing, then this is going to be, the curve is going to be a small straight line is going to be very large magnification you can do. Then this one you can see that it is going to be a small straight line is going to be. So that one, how we solve it? Okay, in that region we are going to. So that is the thing we are calling it as a straightening the boundary. Okay, that is the method of straightening the boundary we are going to do. So let us fix an x naught. For example, let us fix x naught in this domain. Okay, let's fix that. Now I'm going to find a smooth mapping. Let us say pi and psi, they are the smooth mapping from r power n to r power n. R power n to r power n. Such that pi is the inverse of psi, or psi is the inverse of psi. Okay, pi equal to psi inverse. And this is what it is. What is the job of this pi is that it is going to straighten this. Straightens out dou omega near x naught. Near x naught you got to. Okay, so this is the place I'm going to take it. Now I got to transform this problem into another places. Okay, this is going to be there. So here near this x naught, this is going to be transformed to another domain. So this is going to be not a curved one, instead it is going to be straight line. Okay, this is going to be there. Or if you take something over here, you are going to get something like this one. So you are going to get a straight line here. Just zoom it in a magnified way. So very near to that only I require. I don't require the entire thing. I'm just trying to find this problem in a straight line boundary. That's what we are going to do. Okay. So then for given any function u, which is a mapping from omega to r, this is my omega. Then what you can write is that you can calculate, you can write v equal to, you can find a new domain corresponding to that. We are going to get v is going to be defined as pi of omega. Okay, and I am going to solve this problem. Okay, this u is for this u, what I am going to do is that I am going to obtain v of y equal to u of pi of y. I am going to obtain where y belongs to v. So corresponding to this one, okay, u is a mapping from v to omega to r. Now what I'm going to choose is that I'm going to write V is nothing but pi of omega. Okay. So for this omega, this pi is going to be mapping for pi and psi are mapping from r power n to r power n in such a way that therefore I'm going to take V equal to pi of omega. In this domain, my V of y I'm going to define U of pi of y because pi of y is going to be, since omega is there, so you are going to define your V of y in this fashion, pi of y. Okay, U of pi of y because these are mapping from omega to okay, pi of y is going to be. Now what you are going to do, you are going to choose your u of x. So u of x is, in this case, it is going to become like, it is going to be V of pi of x, where x belongs to omega. So if u belongs to C1, solves the problem, solves our boundary value problem, what does V solves? That is the question we are going to answer. Okay. Suppose u belongs to C1 solves our boundary value problem. What does V is going to solve? We are going to do that. Okay. For this one, corresponding to this one, what we are going to get? So we are going to obtain the TPF, etc. We are going to obtain that. Okay, this one we are going to obtain that. So what you are going to get? First we will see what is dou u by dou xi. So dou u by dou xi I can write in terms of this one. Okay, this is going to be in terms of V is going to be there. So first I got differentiate with respect to y, and then I got differentiate with respect to x. So therefore this is going to be summation k equal to 1 to n dou v by dou yk. Okay, because v is a u is a u of x equal to p of pi of x. V is a function of y, and that is going to be there. Okay, u of pi of y is going to be there. So that is going to become a summation k equal to 1 to n dou v by dou yk of pi of x, because v is a function of x, pi of x. Okay, pi of x is going to be there into this pi is a mapping from r power n to r power n. Okay, so therefore that is going to be there. So that is going to give you dou pi k by dou xi of x is going to be. So this is once again the change of basis only we are going to do that. So therefore this is going to become, I can write it as du of x, I can write it as du of x can be written as, this is going to be dv of y, this is dv of y, okay, into d pi of x. Sorry, d pi of x. Okay, this is going to be my dv of y. So therefore, what is your problem? F of du comma u comma x is going to become. So f of du comma du f of du u x is going to become f of dv, because du is dv into d pi. Okay, du dv d pi comma v comma you got to write this one. Pi also you got to write it. Okay, this x you got to write it. So that is going to become a psi of y. That is going to become a psi of y. Or I can write it as another expression. So this can be written as g of this. I can rewrite it as g of d v of y, okay, comma v of y equal to g, comma y equal to g. It is of this form. Okay, because phi is again a function of y is going to be there. Therefore, you can write it in this way. So therefore, in V, in the domain V, I can write it. Okay, because V is a pi of omega already. So therefore, this t pi is also going to be observed over there. Okay. So further, I'm going to write this one. So this is near the boundary only. Okay, near the boundary only for this all the circus I'm just doing. So suppose I have v equal to kach. Okay, u equal to g is given in the original problem. Then v equal to kach is going to be there on the boundary which is corresponding to this new domain. Okay, because pi of omega is my new domain. V is going to be my new domain. So in that case, what you are going to get is that you are going to get a new symbol called delta, which is going to be pi of gamma. Remember that v is pi of omega. Okay, delta is going to be pi of gamma. Okay, so that is going to be. Therefore, what you are going to get, what is kach here? Kach of y is nothing but g of pi of y. Sorry, g of psi of y. Because x was there, right? X is going to be psi of y. Okay, so that means what you have is that you have a domain in terms of x here, and you have a y in terms of here. So you have to find a pi and psi such that okay, there is a pi and psi. So pi is going to be mapping from r power n to r power n, and this is going to be psi is going to map from k to z. This psi inverse is going to be there. So therefore, pi and psi inverse you are going to get. This is going to be the inverse of this one. So in this case, what we are going to do is that this problem completely you are going to transform this one. The property of pi is chosen in such a way that here, if there is a curve here, this is going to be a straight line here. Okay, the curved boundary, I'm just going to turn into a straight line boundary. So that is the transformation I'm going to apply. So therefore, the settings over here. So I have a problem here. F of du comma u comma x is going to be there on the bound on the domain, and I have u equal to g and gamma. Okay, this is going to be interior and this is going to be at the boundary. Correspondingly, you are going to get a function here in terms of this pi and psi. So what you are going to get that you are going to get g of dv. Okay, so v is a mapping. V is equal to u of pi of y because here u is there. So v I am just mapping v of y equal to u of pi of y is going to be. So g of dv comma v comma y, which is on the pi of omega domain. This is pi of omega. Okay, this is omega. This is pi of omega. That is nothing but v. Okay, the v it is going to be there. And on the boundary, I have u equal to kach is going to be there. What is kach? Kach is nothing but g of psi of. Okay, that's what I got. Okay, so this is some delta. So therefore, this problem I'm just going to transform into this problem. So now for this problem, we can obtain the solutions very easily because so this is going to be equal to kach. So this problem you can solve it very easily because near this boundary at least you can solve it. Okay. So using that you can find the solution for this problem and then you can transform back to the original problem. Now we'll see some simple thing. Okay, how do we do that? So there is something called compatibility conditions on boundary data. What is the assumption and what is the code we are going to do here is that, so these are all the methods which we have for solving the nonlinear PDE. So in this case, what we are having is that we are going to have the following thing. So let us say you have a domain, okay, omega is given. Okay, omega is given. And I'm just choosing my x naught in gamma. Okay, x naught belongs to gamma. So we are going to assume that. So from the previous one, what we have done is that we have already from the previous technique we have already flattened that boundary. Now suppose there is a flattened boundary. Okay, there is a flattened, so that means here I'm going to assume that this is already flattened. Okay, near the x naught. So I'm choosing my x naught near that it is already flattened. Okay, so that one. This flattening, I'm just going to assume that this lying in the plane xn equal to u. That flattening is going to be lying in the plane xn equal to u. Now this one, how do we solve? Is the next step for this curved boundary. What we are going to start. So initialize the characteristic PDE, ODE. What we are going to do is that we are going to construct a solution near this x naught. You are going to do. Okay. So that means what you got to find what is your p of 0, which is going to be p naught, and you got to find what is your x of 0, which is going to be x naught. What is your z of 0, that is going to be z naught. This is the one which you are going to obtain from the previous technique which I have already defined. Then you have to choose your curve. Okay, you got to choose your curve x such that it is going to pass through this x naught. Okay, and it should also satisfy that your g of x naught should satisfy that z naught should be satisfied. This is only near the boundary. Okay, you got to insist in such a way that your curve, you are going to choose your curve such that it is the x is going to pass through x naught. Okay, so if I choose a curve, this would pass through the x naught. Okay, so let us say this is x naught, so it is going to pass through this x naught, and you got to also satisfy that g of x naught should be equal to z naught should be chosen. Like this, you got to select you got to discover your z and p, etc. So then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use this compatibility condition, okay, to solve the problem. So what do we require for p of 0 equal to p naught? Okay, that we got to check it. Since xn equal to 0, I got chosen my x naught in such a way that it is flattening near the boundary, it is lying in the plane. So therefore, what I am going to do, this xn is going to be 0. Therefore, for p, what I am going to do is that since g of x naught equal to z naught, that is going to imply that u of z naught is nothing but u of x1 comma x2 comma etc xn minus 1 comma 0. Okay, this I am just going to choose it as it is going to be x1 x2 etc xn minus 1 is going to be, because the last boundary I am going to remove it. So this is going to be near x naught. Near this x naught, it is going to do that. So if I differentiate this one, then what I am going to get is that I am going to get dou u by dou xi at x naught. Okay, so for each of the things, it is going to become like dou g by dou xi at x naught. This is for I equal to 1 to n minus 1 only, because x naught is not, xn is not there here. Xn is already 0, it is near the boundary. Since you should satisfy this one, okay, what you should satisfy is that you should satisfy P naught. Okay, P naught should satisfy this one, because this is nothing but P naught. So P naught should satisfy that dou g by dou xi at x naught. Okay, you got to choose to satisfy our PD. You got to insist that your P naught is satisfying this one, dou g by dou xi of x naught for I equal to 1 to n minus 1. It should satisfy, and then you got to satisfy the second condition, f of P naught comma z naught comma x naught equal to 0. Okay, so this like this you got to choose it. See your P naught, the P naught also you got to choose it in this way. Dou g by dou xi into x naught should be satisfied. Okay, then you can use this condition for solving the next one. Okay, using this you are going to solve the next one. So what am I going to do next is that I'll show you some example. I hope I have an example. So what you have to do is that this condition is called compatibility condition. Okay, this is called the compatibility condition. So here you have this is going to belongs to R2n plus 1. Okay, the triple P naught is going to belongs to R2n plus 1, and it is going to be admissible. The 6 and 9 is going to admissible functions. Okay, z naught you can uniquely determine, because if you choose your x naught, then from this one you can select your z naught. So z naught can be uniquely determined by the boundary condition. Okay, once you choose the x naught. Okay, but x naught is in our control. Okay, according to the choice of x naught, you can get that z naught uniquely. The problem will be lying is that this P naught may exist or may not exist. Okay, even if it is exist also, it may not unique also. Okay, so the problem will be that P naught satisfying this condition may be existing or may not be existing, or it may not. If it is existing also, it may be unique or it may not be unique, because we don't have any other conditions here. So this is the tricky part which we are going to get into the trap. Okay, so this is the trap part which we have over here. How do we resolve this? Let us see that. So one more slide, then I will complete that. Yeah. So in the case of non-characteristic boundary data, suppose what we have a non-characteristic boundary data. So what you are going to assume that x naught belongs to omega, that near x naught, the near x naught lies in the plane xn equal to 0. And this is the admissible condition I have. Okay, P naught is there. These conditions I have chosen. Okay, P naught is there, z naught is there, x naught is there. This is the admissible condition I have chosen. That is the assumption. Now, how do we construct a solution for our problem? Okay, so this is my problem. F of du comma u comma x equal to 0 and u comma z equal to 0. Okay, correct one. Yeah, u comma x equal to 0 and u equal to g. So this is in omega and this is on g gamma. Now, how do we construct a solution for this PD? So near x naught, what you can do is that you can integrate this one. Okay, you can integrate this ODE, this characteristic ODE you can integrate, which is going to intersect at x naught. Okay, this P naught of s, x naught of s, z naught of s is there. This is the ODE given. For this ODE, initial conditions are given. Okay, P of 0 equal to P naught, x of 0 equal to x naught, z of 0 equal to z naught is given. So this together, you are going to get a system of ODEs are going to come, system of boundary conditions are going to come. So this one you can solve near this problem. Okay, near this flattening places you can find them. Okay, that you can calculate. Now additionally, what you got to do is that how do we calculate it? Okay, so that we are going to. So additional task what we are going to do is that we need to solve this ODE nearby the initial points only, nearby the initial points, as well as you are going to using that what you can do is that you can perturb that. Okay, so nearby that you can perturb that equation. Consequently, if you can perturb this equation in such a way that this P naught of x naught, okay, you can perturb this P naught x naught z naught, you can perturb, means you can just put P naught in the place, you can put P naught plus epsilon, x naught plus delta, you can put z naught plus some nu, you can put it. So that is the perturbation I can. But you can keep the compatibility conditions. So this compatibility condition you are going to keep it as it is. And then you can solve this problem. Okay, that is the one we are going to solve it to get the answers for your original problem f of du comma u comma x is. Okay. So how are we going to do that? So that's what I'm giving here. This is the conditions given. For given point, y equal to y1, yn minus 1, comma 0 belongs to omega, where y is close to x0. Because y is close to x0 means this is going to lie in the xn equal to 0 plane. Okay, very near to that. So that is going to solve this problem. P naught of s, z naught, x naught of s, and z naught of s with the initial condition. So this is the initial condition. P of 0 equal to P naught, x of 0 equal to x naught, z of 0 equal to z naught, and x of 0 equal to x naught. So using this, you are going to solve the curved boundary. Okay. So that means what you got to do is that for each x naught, you choose some x naught, and then you got to solve this problem slowly. For each problem, you got to solve it, and then you got to apply this also. Okay, that is the one we are going to. Okay. So for non-characteristic boundary data, you are going to choose it like some q of x naught equal to b naught, where it is going to satisfy this q of y, g of y, y equal to is submissible square. So same thing I'm just repeating here. Okay, that is the one which you got to do it for non-characteristic boundary data. So with this I will stop. Probably I think one problem is there. Let me see. Okay, so that we will see it in the Monday class. So what is there next? Yeah, there is a theorem also there. Okay, how do we solve this one? So there is a theorem. So what is remaining for this one is that there is a theorem. So there is a theorem available. Yeah, and then you are going to find the local solution. Okay, so this theorem we will I will just state it in the next class. That we are going to call it as a local solution. Okay, so this is a theorem. We are going to give the proof also, and then we'll solve one problem also how to obtain that near that, and then we are going to from this one, this compatibility condition and straightening boundary, everything together. What we are going to achieve is that we are going to calculate the local solution only. Okay, the local solution for each x naught we will construct, and then you can get that completely you can stitch it together, and then you are going to get the solution for the complete. That is the one we are going to do it in the next one, okay, which is about some 4-5 slides, which we'll discuss in the next class. So with this I will stop, and then rest of the part we have is something like conservation laws, etc. is there. That also we'll discuss in the next class. Okay, thank you. If you have any questions, let me know.